Do you believe you've seen it all when it comes to Isekai and fantasy? Think again, because 2025 is poised to shatter your preconceptions with a collection of fantasy anime that push the boundaries, flip the script, and deliver twists you never saw coming. The niche picks are getting niche-ier, and the crazies getting crazier as we dive into the top 10 lineup of this 2025 fantasy roster. Number 10, Magic Maker: How to Make Magic in Another World.
You're full of light! I'm glowing. Could it be magical energy?
When Theon wakes up in a brand new world after an untimely end, he's ready to dive headfirst into the magic he's dreamed about for 30 years. Spells, incantations, fireballs, he's all in. Except, plot twist, magic doesn't exist here. Not a single spark.
One more thing. Does magic exist?
There's no such thing.
Oh, really?
What's a magic-obsessed reincarnate to do when life hands him a magicless world? Create it. Theon isn't about to let a tiny thing like the laws of reality stand in his way. With a mix of trial, error, and a stubborn refusal to give up, he begins experimenting with runes, theories, and sheer willpower to bring magic to life.
Look, it's here!
As his research grows, so does the world's need for his newfound craft. One step at a time, his relentless pursuit of the impossible transforms him from a dreamer to the hero who literally rewrites the world's destiny. What starts as a personal quest to make sparks fly turns into a revolution. He's a hero now. Number 9, Theogonia. When life hands you a war-torn fantasy world, you either fight or get trampled, and Kai's been fighting since the day he could hold a weapon. His village, Rag, is caught in the never-ending chaos between humans and demi-human tribes like the battle-hungry ash monkeys and towering ogres. Every day, it's another brawl, another struggle to keep his home standing. Then, out of nowhere, Kai's brain hits him with a plot twist, memories of a completely different world. One with advanced technology, modern cities, and people who definitely don't spend their days swinging swords at pig-faced warriors. But this isn't some cheat skill reincarnation, he's still the same village kid, still stuck in the trenches. Now though, things are different. As Kai starts piecing things together, his battles take on a new meaning. In a world where the strongest warriors wield the mysterious power of guardian bears, he's about to find out just how deep the rabbit hole goes. One thing's for sure, this war's got way more layers than he thought, and he's smack in the middle of it. Number 8, the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world.
Burning keys in a bunch!
These things are lame.
Togo Asagaki thought he'd given his final performance, sacrificing himself in the ultimate battle against the exterminators. But instead of the curtain closing, it's raised on a brand new stage, a fantasy world brimming with danger, magic, and people in need of a hero. Here, Togo doesn't just hang up the red suit, he becomes the suit, stepping into his role as Kizuna Red, an adventurer who's less about collecting loot and more about collecting smiles. Whether it's taking down rampaging monsters or lending a hand to the helpless, Togo's mission remains the same: to protect and serve.
Cooperation Caliber!
Joining him on his new quest is Idola, a young wizard with a sharp tongue, a brilliant mind, and a knack for getting them both into trouble. Together, they're the odd couple of adventurers, one powered by magic and brains, the other powered by raw guts and heroic instincts. But in a world without giant mechs or city-destroying exterminators, Togo will have to adapt. The stakes may be smaller, but the battles are just as personal, because once a ranger, always a ranger, and no matter the world, Kizuna Red fights for justice. Number 7, the daily life of a middle-aged online shopper in another world. Middle-aged guy? Check. Accident? Check. Some completely random overpowered ability? Double check. Kenichi didn't ask to be thrown into a monster-infested forest in another world, but hey, life happens. As he fumbles his way out of danger, he discovers his ultimate trump card, the ability to access an online store.
サングリアって。おお、これって俺がいつも使ってる巨大通販サイトじゃないか。
But we're not talking your average marketplace here. Kenichi's got the full internet retail arsenal at his fingertips. Need a sword? Delivered in 2 days. Running low on snacks? Prime it. Facing down a dragon? Maybe it's time to see what the clearance section has in anti-dragon spray. With a little savvy trading, he not only survives, but accidentally becomes the hottest entrepreneur in town. The problem? Kenichi's ambitions are, let's just say, chill. He's not interested in building empires or running an economy, he just wants to kick back, crack open a cold drink, and enjoy the quiet life. Number 6. From bureaucrat to villainess, Dad's been reincarnated.
さぞかし見識のある親御さんに大切に育てられたのでしょうね。
There are times when you just gotta show the youngins how you ball, and what's a better way to do it than as a frilly, drill-haired noble brat in a high-stakes otome game? Kenzaburo Tondabayashi thought retiring from his desk job at 52 would be the biggest plot twist of his life, until he woke up as Grace Auvergne, the classic villainess in his daughter's favorite dating sim.
これはなかなかのものですわ。はい、とっても美味しいです。
Now Grace, Kenzaburo, is supposed to sneer, scheme, and maybe toss out the occasional evil laugh, but there's one little problem. Decades of bureaucratic discipline and dad mode wholesomeness have left him completely incapable of being a jerk. Instead, Grace walks the halls with perfect posture, impeccable manners, and a calmness that would make a Zen master jealous. Suddenly, she's besties with the game's heroine, adored by the students, and somehow reshaping the entire narrative just by being a class act. Number 5. Headhunted to another world, from salaryman to Big Four.
内村伝之助。はい。
How high can one aim? Turns out, pretty high, especially if your new boss is the demon overlord himself. Dennosuke Uchimura was just your average salaryman, grinding through meetings and chasing deadlines. That is, until he was yanked out of his gray corporate life and dropped into a fantasy world, complete with monsters, magic, and a job offer he couldn't refuse. Become one of the demon overlord's heavenly kings.
暴力の権限ですが。
No muscles, no magic, no problem. Dennosuke's weapon of choice isn't a sword or a spell, it's the ultimate corporate toolkit, spreadsheets, negotiation tactics, and the sheer audacity to get things done. Oh, and the Demon Overlord threw in a little something extra, one-click online shopping. But it's not all perks and pay raises. Dennosuke's new co-workers are powerhouses with terrifying abilities, and his new role comes with more backstabbing and intrigue than any boardroom ever could. So, good luck, really. Number 4, I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic.
集中、呼吸、イメージ、炎。出た！
Life choices. You never know where they'll take you. One moment, you're a middle-aged commoner nursing a cheap beer, and the next, bam, you wake up as Liam Hamilton, the youngest son of a noble house so deep in debt they can't even afford their dignity. Make it make sense. For Liam, it's a second chance that comes with a whole lot of strings attached. Sure, he's got the title now, but this noble life is looking more like a sinking ship. The Hamilton family's reputation is hanging by a thread, and unless they pull off some high society miracle, it's back to the peasant grind. But here's the twist. Liam's not just your average noble brat, he's got a hidden affinity for magic, and for a guy who's dreamed of spells and sorcery his whole life, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. With a little practice, or maybe a lot, he just might master the craft and turn his house's fortunes around. The clock is ticking though, and Liam's juggling a family on the brink, high society politics, and magical abilities he's barely scratched the surface of. Number 3, I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time.
なるほど。これがパーティー戦。
Alina Clover thought she'd nailed the dream gig when she became a receptionist at the Adventurers Guild, organizing quests, stamping forms, and enjoying her evenings in peace. But instead of cozy tea breaks, she's stuck pulling overtime every time some newbie adventurers can't handle a dungeon boss. Her solution? Skip the bureaucracy, grab her gear, and handle the problem herself. After all, what's faster? Filing incident reports or smashing through a dungeon solo? With her skills, Alina makes quick work of monsters, clears the boss, and vanishes before anyone's the wiser. To the adventurers, she's just some mysterious, overpowered loner saving the day. But to Alina, it's just another way to ensure she's clocking out on time. However, secret identities and strict no moonlighting policies don't exactly mix. When the sharp-eyed leader of the Silver Sword Party starts piecing things together, Alina's double life might be in jeopardy. Number 2, the brilliant healer's new life in the shadows.
愚かな人間どもをなぶり殺してくれよ。
はい、ヒール。
Skills can take you a long way, folks, be it to millionaire status or the depths of an underground clinic where society's outcasts cling to hope. For Xenos, it's the latter. Born into the slums with nothing but grit and determination, he clawed his way out through sheer hard work, mastering the art of healing after a chance encounter with a generous healer.
今日こそは誰が一番上かはっきりさせてやるよ。冗談きつい。今日がお主らの命日だ。
His break finally came when an adventurer's party took him in, and for a brief, shining moment, Xenos thought he'd found his place. But dreams don't last long when you're surrounded by selfish teammates who can't see your worth. Kicked to the curb with nothing but his wits and skills, Xenos decides to stop chasing glory and starts chasing purpose. In the city's forgotten underbelly, where the shadows stretch long and desperations run deep, Xenos opens his underground clinic. With no one else to turn to, the downtrodden and the desperate flock to him.
目立たずひっそりと闇ヒーラーをやるつもりだったのに。
Number 1, Ubelblotz. When the world sings praises of heroes, who tells the stories of betrayal? 2 decades ago, the 7 heroes were celebrated for their victory against Witch-Tech's invasion, while the infamous lances of betrayal were cast out. Their names dragged through the dirt of history. But history isn't always written by the honest, and sometimes the past claws its way back with a vengeance. Enter Coinzel, a boy with the eyes of a ghost and a sword that drinks in the night. He's no legend told by bards. He's flesh, blood, and fury, cutting through the militia of Gormbark like a storm on legs. His scarred face and black blade make him a symbol of dread, yet for the oppressed, he's something more, a shadowy beacon of hope. But Coinzel doesn't fight for fame or the cheers of the downtrodden. His journey is a solitary one, paved with questions and motives that he keeps buried like a blade between his ribs.